Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Welcome to Creepy Tapas,
where we do the opposite of deep dives and bring you tiny tastes of terror connected by a common ingredient.
True stories to haunt and chill you and the pop culture they inspired.
Or at least the movies and books that remind us of them.
Join us as we descend into darkness,
beginning with the lighter side of our weekly topic,
and wrapping with a full dark, no stars account of terror, madness, murder, and more. It's Creepy Tapas, y'all.
You know what they say, two heads are better than one. A second person brings a unique perspective and may notice different details or be informed by different life experiences. Although, what if another person's perspective is far away from the reality you know? What if your long-term relationship and reinforcement of one another's beliefs becomes harmful? Could you be driven to running away from an invisible threat? Could you be capable of murder? A rare form of mass hysteria. Today's two-part episode is a madness built for two. Folie, deux. What truths lie beyond the imagination in a world where reality is often more horrid than fiction? Come along, ghoul fiends, as we descend into darkness on today's episode of Creepy Tapas. Greetings, ghoul fiends, and welcome. I'm your host, Ash.
And I'm Jordan.
So this week, we are going to get into what happens when two people get together and fall madly insane.
I like the 3 one better. The folie à trois.
Folie à trois.
I like saying à trois.
Woo! Today's going to be spooky-ooky.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, people going crazy and shit. It's fucking spooky.
A little bit, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
If we went crazy together, that shit would be wild.
Do you want to go insane with me, pal?
I can't wait. We're going to spiral down the staircase of insanity together.
Yay.
I'm going mad. Woo! Woo! At dawn we ride.
Woohoo!
So yeah, going crazy with somebody. I mean,
Anyways.
like, you go crazy at the club. You go crazy on some fucking wine and cheese. It's all good. But don't go crazy where you go crazy like these guys crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Don't go that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? We saw Megan tonight.
How was it?
It's not a bad movie. It's fun. It's fast. We had a lot of fun. It was a cute movie for what it was. I mean, it's definitely like
It's exactly what we thought it would be.
No, actually, it was better. It was better than I thought it would be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she only dances once. It's not like a thing. It's literally just that one scene.
Oh.
And that's literally the entire thing.
Oh, it's short.
It's very short, and then she like kills some people. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's not that scary. It's not that bad. It's got a pretty good creep factor, but I wouldn't compare it to Chucky so much as I would compare it to the Terminator.
Okay.
It definitely has more of a Terminator vibe, especially towards the end. I enjoyed that it kind of went against what I was expecting, which was that it would be more like an Annabelle Chucky kind of situation.
Well, I assumed since the newest Child's Play was like an AI take on it, that it would be pretty similar.
Yeah. I really liked that about the new Child's Play, how they had that going. I know. Yeah, we had such different viewpoints.
I like the fucking serial killer inhabiting the doll, Charles Lee Ray.
TJ and I were talking about it on the way home. We were like, who would win in a fight? And he's like, I got to go with Chucky. Like, he's a fucking supernatural serial killer doll. Like, all you got to do is put some water on Megan or unplug her or whatever. And that's
just
it.
don't charge her. Bitch, you did.
Yeah. So, or at least just useless, Yeah, so, but they're already coming out with a sequel in 2024, I think they said.
Of course they are.
One thing that I thought was cool, it built the career of an 11-year-old actress. So the young girl who played the body of her actually did all of her own stunts, including that crazy 4-legged run through the forest. Like none of that was CGI, none of that was fake.
Nice.
She did all of her own stunts and she also choreographed her own dances. An 11-year-old was given a chance to physically embody a role, and she actually did a really good job. Like if you go into it knowing that that's an 11-year-old's body doing these things.
I've seen pictures of the actress. She's real cute.
So Jordan and I went to go see Skinamarink this week, which was
a disappointment.
Interesting. So let's talk really quick. I want to talk about it.
I just want to talk about it.
But I want to talk about it now while we're
Before I have to rewatch that garbage.
Right.
I'm just thinking, I don't need to rewatch it. It's fucking ceilings and carpet and Legos and feet. A big, fat, smelly pile of disappointment.
Tell us how you felt.
I did. Somebody took a shit on my eyeballs. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that harsh, but it was boring as fuck.
I think that if you look at it as an art installation, you appreciate it more. And I do have some good things that I would like to say about it, but I'm a fan of getting the grievances out of the way first. And I will say that he hung on a lot of shots that I didn't see the artistic merit in, like the ceiling or the floor.
Yeah, I agree with the art installation, but it should have been about a fucking hour shorter.
Oh, at 100%. And
like so much of that was unnecessary. It was just shots of the ceiling and the floor and light fixtures and outlets that weren't even out in the fucking 90s and Legos
that didn't exist.
And then toys stuck to a wall and a TV with a weird 1920s cartoon. Like I have no idea what even happened. What was in that fucking house?
I have seen some fan theories. But
I don't want a theory. I want to know. And it was so unclear.
It was super duper duper unclear. And it was
unfortunate is what it was. I had such high hopes. I mean, the trailer was like super intriguing, but it was like exactly that, except an hour and 40 minutes. Those exact same shots, like basically for an hour and 40 minutes.
Fear is subjective, right? It's so hard to quantify what the scariest movie is.
Well, and everybody's scared of different shit. So you can't definitively say that one movie is the scariest.
I feel like people overhyped it.
Big time.
They've definitely made money on it. Out of a pandemic came this short film called Heck that's on YouTube. I found it ridiculous. I mean, I sat with my partner and we had a good laugh. Basically, what Kyle Edward Bell does is he has a YouTube where he asks people, tell me what your nightmares are. And one of the things that he did when he was creating Skinamarink was he acted like an AI where he data mined what all of these people were telling him on YouTube. Here's what my nightmares are about. Here's what my nightmares feel like or what they look like or what they sound like. And he tried to build that atmosphere with that knowledge. So I can appreciate what he did, but do I think it's a good movie? Fuck the fuck no. We came out of that theater pissed.
Well, I mean, if you were real afraid of the tops of door frames or really loud, shrill noises, because I think 3 or 4 intentional jump scares, it was all just really loud noises. Like the camera would move real fast and it would like shrill at you. And that was supposed to be scary.
There was one scene that did give me the creeps. And it was the one where, spoiler alert, by the way, this is Jordan and I are just going to go ahead and spoil the movie. Up until now, we haven't really given you any spoilers, but this is the point of no return.
I mean, there's nothing to spoil. There's a bunch of fucking shots of the ceiling and the carpet and Legos and feet. Like that's what the movie
you
is.
Can't see. Yeah.
It is boring as fuck.
So, but the one part that did give me a little bit of a sense of dread.
I'm getting hype. I'm gonna wake Axel up.
And I was trying to communicate it with you without talking during the movie, was when the little girl Kaylee went upstairs and, he was like, look under the bed. And like every time she would look under the bed and the camera would come back up, I would have this feeling of something is finally about to happen. And then
it never did.
It didn't. And so like it was weird because at that moment I had the biggest sense of dread and I was like, cool, like I'm starting to feel a little creeped out, scared. That's great. This is what I'm here for. And then it was nothing. And I felt blue balls. Like I wanted so badly to be afraid because it was so hype. And then nothing.
I have never left a movie so confused in my entire fucking life. I don't have the slightest clue what I watched. I mean, other than the ceiling, floor, and Legos and feet. And then there was one like blurry face at the end, but you couldn't even really see it.
The fourth the wall breaking ending where it's supposed to be Kevin and he's looking at you asking us, the audience, like he's asking you, what's your name? Like it's supposed to be like,
oh,
right.
I didn't get that from that at all. Like I thought
Me
that was
neither.
something going on in the house.
You're supposed to pick it up from the fucking subtitle. Like, come on. Like it says in parentheses, child speaks. And I'm like,
that was the most confusing bullshit ever.
It was stupid. And I've obsessed. So he did his job there. It's fucking like burrowed into my head and I can't stop thinking about it and reading about it, trying to figure out what it is that's making people so afraid of this fucking movie because I don't understand.
I don't either. And then you see all these pretentious comments like, well, people just don't get it. Like, what the fuck is there to get? What kind of crazy meaning are you pulling from this that you're so fucking afraid of? I don't get it. So I guess they're right. I don't get it.
I think you do. I think that at its core, it's style over substance. It's one of those things that if you're desperate to find meaning, you will, and you're not willing to work that hard. You know what I mean? It's a movie.
Like I'm here to be entertained. Entertain me. Don't make me work for it.
I don't want to see a movie that I can't see or hear.
True.
Like, come on now. There need to be like images.
It was so weird. I kept like, I waited like so long. I kept expecting there to be something else like that entire time.
Yep.
And it was nothing.
And the atmosphere was right where you're moving slow, just like a dream. And like there was shit going wrong. Like there was a chair on the ceiling and the kids really didn't freak out over it. Just Kaylee was like, I think we need to be quiet.
Yeah. I mean, well, and then as soon as that happened, I thought, you're like, oh shit, it's, finally starting to build on itself. And then it never goes anywhere. It's just like a random fucking chair on the ceiling, never really gets solved. Fucking toys stuck to the wall. Nothing ever happens with that.
And people were like, oh, it's this mounting sense of dread the whole time that never is released. I wish that there was a sense of dread. Like I said, I only felt one for maybe like 5 seconds during this one scene where nothing actually came of it.
By the time that even happened, I was already bored.
You'd already checked out.
I mean, no, I tried to pay attention because I wanted something to happen. I really wanted to know what was going on in that house. And I never found out. There was no indication whatsoever as to what was going on in that fucking house.
I have a few ideas just from
the blood splatter, maybe the parents got killed, but still, it doesn't tell you.
There's a few different ideas that I had, but I am also very frustrated with the fact that it's an unreliable narrative. I was thinking it was something like they were in hell or purgatory, but then again, he used the phone. But then again, maybe he's called 911 before and he was remembering a phone call. I mean, like there's nothing like everything about it is something that you're supposing. And maybe that's what it's all about. And like I said, I don't think that the movie, I don't ever want to say that somebody set out to create a piece of artwork and say like, oh, it was trash, because I think that some people put some thought into it that was a bit creative. Like, for example, all of the audio was done in post-production. So rather than try to direct, in real time toddlers, which is what he had at his disposal, because this is during the pandemic. Remember, this is during quarantine. Like the movie wasn't made this year. Like everyone was in isolation. So it's one of those things, like he was using the no money that he had, no cast, and he made something that is making money in theaters and effectively scaring people. Did it scare me? No. But am I going to shit on it and say like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen? Also, no. However, when I first walked out of that theater, I was making jokes all over the place. I remember I told the security guard that I wanted to file a report because my senses had been assaulted for the last hour and a half.
Yeah, that guy behind us was like, well, y'all, we just got robbed.
We got robbed. There was
the usher. Robbed, everybody. That was garbage.
The usher was like, I don't know why people are seeing this.
Yeah, he was like holding the door open for everybody. He was like, I don't know why y'all watch that. We were like, we don't really know either.
Hype, man. I mean, and maybe we file it under shit that TikTok made us do.
Fucking TikTok, I swear.
I'm glad it did. It was worth it. We had fun.
Was it though?
Yeah, we had a good time. I got to go to the movies with my best friend. We ate an entire bucket of popcorn together.
We did.
Oh my God, that was dope.
Like a bunch of little piggies.
Yeah. And we've never seen a movie together. And we saw an unforgettably, ridiculously terrible one that we'll never forget because it was so bad.
God, it was so bad.
In 20 years, when I say to you, like, remember Skinamarink, you will have
Like,
that.
That was awful. Well, it made an impression in a different setting, in art, a lot shorter. Like, it could have made sense. It could have been an artistic piece that just was meant to invoke childhood fears. Like, I could get that. But God, to stretch it out to an hour and 45 minutes was fucking torture. It was so boring. Like, if I hadn't drank an energy shot, I would have passed the fuck out. Like, I drank an energy shot because I knew it was going to be dark. I was really hoping that I would get into the movie, but it was bad.
It's like I said, man, horror blue balls. I mean, if you want them, go see the movie, guys. If you want to leave unsatisfied and as though like you never really fully had your fear climax, go for it. Go to a matinee though, so you don't spend full money.
There wasn't even any fear for me. It's the tops, the door frames, and carpet and Legos. Like, I'm not afraid of any
faces, and there was
very, very few. And
there was a Barbie ass for a good.
The Barbie was stuck to the ceiling.
Then it fell off the ceiling.
Yeah, but I mean, even that though,
the scream made me jump because it was like dead ass quiet and then a massive sound.
You did jump.
I out loud. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, because it was like,
you did. See, I really wish I had a moment like that, but even that one didn't get me.
I had a lot of fun with this episode. I actually didn't intend for this episode to ever exist the way that it exists. But when I was researching one particular case we were going to deep dive, I found that the thing that caused the case was more interesting than the case itself. And so that's what kind of inspired this.
The folie à deux. But it could also be folie à trois if there's three.
We can't get the fuck out of France, can we?
Or never.
Never. We're never going to leave.
We're just going to fucking move to France.
Madness built for two.
Madness.
You know, like kind of this is a really appropriate time to be doing this too, because I'm reading this book called House of Leaves that everyone was like, oh, it's insane. And it does feel like you're going insane a little bit while you're reading it. But it also vaguely reminds me of that episode of Bob's Burgers where Louise is like ascending the staircase of insanity and she's like, I'm going crazy. Wee! And then she like gets to the top and she's like, oh, it ended.
It just ends. Yep. The madness just ends.
There's a bunch to cover here, so we're going to give you 2 parts. It's a 2-part episode.
Fucking 2 parts.
Yes, indeed. So what is
folie à deux?
Folie à deux. It just sounds so nice when you say it.
With my
say it right. I don't say it right. Okay, now folie à deux.
That's what it is.
Hey, so folie à deux. That's what we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about people go fucking insane. They get a rare mental disorder. It's called folie à deux. Harold, it's pronounced duck. D-E-U-X, duck.
Ducks.
Folie ducks. I'm saying it right, damn it. No, oh my God. You're embarrassing yourself is what you're doing.
We're all just embarrassing ourselves.
I'll put Harold and Edna to sleep and we'll discuss a very serious, rare mental disorder. Okay. And I'm not making light of that. God damn it.
No, it's serious.
A folie à deux was.
Okay. I think it's adieu.
A rare mental disorder, a folie à deux, was discovered by
folie à deux. Ooh. Folie à deux. Duh.
A rare mental disorder first discovered by French psychiatrists in 1877. It sounds absolutely terrifying to me and also very plausible. And I think I actually have experienced a touch of it at one point in my life.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So there was an ex that I had. We went to Knoxville together and we were drinking. Towards the end of the night, we were just like walking around downtown and all of a sudden he got really weird. And I was like, are you okay? And he's just staring at, it was like this set of stairs and he was just staring at it and he looked terrified. And I was like, what's going going on? Are you okay? And he was like, tell me you see that. I was A, drunk, B, young, and C, also wanted so desperately for this person to like me. So I was like, yeah, totally. And then he described it to me. It was something that he called the harbinger of doom. And he said that it was like a big, like black monster, like a shadow demon kind of thing.
Shadow demon.
He called it the harbinger of doom, and like he believed it. And then like we would go to like psychic.
I feel like that's from a video game.
I know, right?
Sounds like it is. I actually
then,
don't know
like,
because I don't play video games.
He was really into like mysticism and went to this like psychic that was at this pub. And like it was weird because I knew that I believed there was nothing there. I believed my own eyes and that I didn't see anything, but I agreed with him that I saw it.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a shared delusion if you weren't seeing it. You were just lying to him.
But then I started believing in the psychic at one point. Because he was so smart and he was like telling me that it was right and true and all this.
And they were so overly convincing about it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And then later we went to the same place with friends and I had the same kind of response that I usually did. And I was belittled for it. It was a really odd experience because I knew that there was no harbinger of doom. I knew that there was no weird shadow monster on the staircase, but we still ran from it. And I still acted like I saw the same thing, you know, and it came up more than once. Yeah.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you got away from him.
So I don't know. I thought I would share that story because I was like, I think that I don't know the reason for that, but you know, other than just alcohol, like there's so many reasons I quit. Oh my God. Like I just didn't need to drink, but I would do things like that. I was like, oh, you see a big shadow monster? That sounds fun. Yeah, me too.
Same.
Oh, I like your reality. You have unicorns in here too. I dig that. I'd stay here. So people are pretty persuadable, you know, especially if there's, you know, a close connection going on there. It was originally referred to as you go ahead, Jordan.
Folie à deux.
Or madness for two. That doesn't mean it only happens to two people at a time. In fact, entire families or cities have been swept away in this rare psychotic phenomenon. So the way it basically works is an idea is born from the mind of the primary individual, who then passes the belief onto the secondaries, which are usually the people who have close, intimate, or familial connections with the primary. Longer relationships, closer bonds, those are all common in this dichotomy. There are certain personality traits and characteristics that make the secondary susceptible to the primary's influence. This can include things like emotional immaturity, age, an off-balance power dynamic. So maybe somebody is like a teacher or a guru, or you know what I mean? Like they have that kind of...
I like how you went for a guru.
I mean, you know,
who the fuck has a guru?
People.
Okay.
I've known a few. They're all over Instagram.
Oh, word?
Yeah, they're all over Instagram.
I'm not opposed to it. I just ain't never heard of anybody having one.
Carolyn was a guru with my table. I want my table back. That's right. If you hear this, I see you. I see your Instagram posts with my table.
I was so confused for a second.
Yeah. No, I want it back.
Is she a guru?
Yeah, she's a fucking life coach.
Oh, maybe one day you will hear this. She'll be like, I didn't steal that fucking table.
I'm going to be like, I have pictures to prove it. I'd die on that mountain. That is my table. A lot of times too, the secondary can have sort of emotional and physical dependency on others, mental illness, cognitive disabilities, and depression. So these are all traits of people who have been susceptible to this manipulation. The primaries tend towards being way more dominant, and therefore they're able to manipulate the secondary into agreeing with their delusions, which creates a shared belief system. Primaries tend to be older, intelligent, and experienced. So in that story that I was telling you, the person I was with would have been the primary there, right?
Right.
And the secondary, somebody who struggles with self-esteem, looks up to that person. There's like an uneven power dynamic there, like really fucking classic. Weird, right?
It is weird.
But yeah, you struggle to resist that pull.
Well, you resisted for a little while, but then eventually gave into it all because of so much convincing.
And I don't think it went completely into madness for two because so much of it, it was 100% alcohol induced. Like this was not a thing that happened sober.
Well, and it didn't make you do anything crazy other than run from imaginary monsters, right?
Right. And act like an idiot. So these aren't consistently replicated from case to case, but it is the best information that we have right now. We're certainly not suggesting anyone with low self-esteem or cognitive disabilities or depression are destined to fall for this kind of manipulation. You know, it really takes two to tango. The primary typically suffers from schizophrenia 58 to 60% of the time. That's a big ass percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. So they already got some issues going on anyways.
Absolutely. They also have delusional disorder or mood disorder with psychotic features. So it's multi symptoms, you know, they've got like a lot of issues. So when people say that a folie,
Come on now.
folie a deux,
How many times have I said it?
I can't do it now. You do it.
Folie à deux.
So when people say a folie à deux is contagious, it's not like it's the flu or something. It's just that perfect storm was created where a dominant and forceful illness was met with an already susceptible individual. Although over a century has passed, our ability to diagnose this or evaluate the condition has not improved very much. There seem to be so many factors. But in the DSM, which is basically it's like a dictionary of symptoms, descriptions, and other criteria for diagnosing mental disorders specifically. They call it shared psychotic disorder, which sounds way less romantic than folie à deux. But, you know, way to make it clinical, physicians, whatever. So different window dressing through the years, but the assessment of it remains the same since the 19th century. It's intriguing as hell, and I can't wait to dive into some true crime and mysteries in part deux. For today, though. We're going to get into some movies because there's some pretty incredible art that's been inspired by this real life horror. I also feel like haunted houses and ghosts maybe come from this, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to tell you all about it. So enjoy this word from our sponsors. They're people who make us sound great.
Witchcraft, the occult, extremist beliefs, murder. Tune in to Rogue Darkness each Friday and join host Raven as I uncover horrific crimes committed under the misconceptions and misunderstandings of witchcraft and other belief systems. I'll cover a wide range of crimes involving ritualistic killings and extremist beliefs to cult persuasion and supposed possession. Anything and everything that borders the line of horrifying. There's always three sides to a story. Side A, Side B, and then the truth. Let's uncover the truth together and explore the darkness of mankind, one crime at a time. Available wherever you get your podcast fix, simply by searching Rogue Darkness.
Hey there, Ghoul Fiends. It's Ash from Creepy Tapas. If you know me, you know I love to spend countless hours browsing independent businesses, putting things in my shopping cart that I only buy once a year when I spend all of my money supporting all of your businesses. Well, I found the cutest little online shop on Etsy called Wick of the Wood. Wick of the Wood specializes in unique accent candles with an inventory that consists of one-of-a-kind handmade candles that can fit in a variety of spaces and aesthetics. Wick of the Wood always has their eye out for new candle molds, thrifted containers, and other inspiration. The idea that everyone can have a candle that fits whatever quirky space they need inspires Wick of the Wood to think outside the candle mold and make any idea you might have a reality. Since she was a little girl, the owner has always dreamt of having a little shop where she could sell her handmade items. Under the watchful eye of her dog, she lovingly hand makes each item, packages them, and mails them to you from Seattle, Washington. But you don't have to take it from me. Here are some testimonials from several happy Wick of the Wood customers. Susie says, 5 stars.
I've ordered from this shop, and every time it's an amazing experience. Everything smells amazing, and the packaging is always so cute and functional. This is my favorite candle shop.
Tandra also gives Wick of the Wood 5 stars.
These are so cool. I only burned 3 so I could keep one for show.
Another 5 stars from Dwar, who says,
the seller is so kind. Beautifully packaged. The candles smell and look amazing. Bought it for my bestie roomie and she loves it. Thank you, and thank you for the freebies too.
Ooh, freebies. Those are just a few of the amazing reviews over at Wick of the Wood. I ordered a few for Christmas, and I cannot wait to smell them and give them as gifts. Guess what you're getting for Christmas?
A
Wick
candle.
of the wood. I'm especially excited about these adorable poison apple candles. They're so freaking adorable and spooky. I love it. You can check out Wick of the Wood at Etsy.com, shop Wick of the Wood. Follow Wick of the Wood on Twitter at Wick of the Wood. Wick of the Wood. Really neat candles. Check them out. Wick of the Wood. You really should. They're on Etsy. Hey, hey, hey.
Give them a sniff.
Welcome back, Ghoul Fiends.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello to you.
So, as we discussed earlier, we saw Skinamarink.
I feel like everybody who liked that was a fucking shared delusion. Okay, did you see that movie made $1 million in the box office? I mean, good for him. Good for him.
A $15,000 budget?
Yes. Oh my God. And like over half the people that watched it were pissed off about it.
Oh, word. So it's not just us, huh?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's pretty even. I've seen just as many people that are like, that was boring as fuck. Like I could have stared at the corner of my bedroom for an hour. And then other people are like, they just don't get it. It was so scary. Okay.
The way that it kind of relates back to this for me is that suggesting an idea to somebody. So saying that you saw a certain like shadow or movement or light or whatever, like the suggestion of that, right? It can be enough to put that into someone else's mind. And then they might have a similar experience. And I think that Skinamarink is kind of a cool, like living version of that, because a lot of people on TikTok is what made me want to see that movie, because somebody had said it was like the scariest movie and that it wasn't out yet. And then I saw some TikToks where people was like, holy shit, typing it up. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. Well,
womp womp.
Wasn't for me. But I feel like sometimes we find meaning in things that are ambiguous, things that are devoid of any real meaning, because somebody has suggested one to us. I think it also goes back to life. A lot of times people will make up a meaning for it because they don't fucking understand it. People go to war over what their idea of the meaning of it all is. I mean,
they fight over whose imaginary friend is the best.
Oh my God. They say that this shared delusion is a rare psychosis, but I would argue that it's the most common.
People claim they see angels all the time.
The number one thing that we hear about, and we're totally going to do a whole episode on it eventually, is ghosts. How many people do you know who are like, yes, I've had a ghost encounter?
Okay, but see, I have had a ghost encounter and I still am like, nah. I actually lived in a haunted house.
That's
like,
right.
It was fucking freaky. And my crazy ass moved down into the basement with him. Ugh.
We're going to have to get into a whole episode about haunted house living. My mom had some stories. We live next door to a funeral parlor. I'm right in between. I have no evidence for or against it. So I'm just kind of like, eh.
I mean, I know what I saw happen. I know how my bedroom door was slamming itself closed and like opening and closing all fucking night long, keeping me awake. Past that, though, nah.
You never saw a full-bodied apparition?
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was just crazy things moving. And there was one time one of my cousins was staying and he had got up in the middle of the night to go get a drink or something. And when he got to the top of the stairs, something just kind of took over him. And he froze at the top of the stairs for hours and then just all of a sudden snapped out of it. But it was in the middle of the night and he was just froze at the top of the stairs.
No, that's creepy. That's creepy.
I mean, maybe that was a shared delusion too, though.
I'm saying, never
know.
It's
never fucking know.
It's so easy to just suggest that something might exist to somebody else. You live in close quarters with them. You want to trust, right? Like a whole basis of our survival is about this evolutionary instinct that we have to trust each other. And we got around a campfire and we trusted each other. We told each other stories. We trusted that the information that we were being given about the dangers in the world were accurate. So I think that this whole thing of a house is haunted, it gives me a bad vibe. I think that people start believing stories and then it spreads just like religion. I think that there's like a whole creed of supernaturalists, who maybe not be religious, but they do certainly believe in life after death because they believe in spiritual entities.
Yeah, which is cool too. I mean, if I was going to believe anything, it'd be that.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. Right. Ghosts. I'm sure people have looked into it before as being just sort of a mass delusion. But the weird thing about it is just like, I don't want to say it's a mass delusion because I know people like you, like my best friend, my mother, who have said like unequivocally, I have experienced something. I don't want my instinct there to be disbelief.
Well, it definitely happened, but I'm not saying it was a ghost. I mean, it might have been, whatever. I don't know. Crazy shit happened around that house all the time. I was in the kitchen one day. I was totally home alone. Okay. So there was this den that was on the one side of the kitchen and then the dining room that led into the rest of the house on the other side. But the den was a separate place. You had to go through the kitchen to get to it. My niece was a baby at the time, and she was living there also. So I was in the kitchen, home alone entirely. I was in there making a sandwich. Every single one of these music fucking baby toys all went off at the exact same time. Every fucking one of them. There was like they lined the wall, and they were all just lighting up and singing all at the same time. And I peeked in there. There was nobody fucking there. They never did it again. But still yet, it really freaked me out.
That freaked me out too. That would fucking scare me.
Stuff would fall, like just randomly fall off of table. I don't know. Stuff happened to everybody, but I don't know that we were ever together when it happened.
Well, we're just going to have a whole episode. But that's my point, is that I feel like, you know, hauntings, ghosts, psychics, I feel like there's an element of belief that has to happen for it to work. Suspend this reality that you've accepted your whole life and like believe in this magic.
Yeah. See, I mean, even though things have happened to me, I'm still, no.
You remain skeptical. Yeah.
I do, because I don't know. Like once you pass that threshold, there's no going back.
You always say like, then you have to start believing in all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm good. I'm good.
Nah. Yeah. You're
I like my science. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm always down for hearing like stories and perspectives from paranormal investigators and all that. So I'm not saying like everybody's full of shit. You know, if I get a group of 10 people, at least 7 or 8 of them are going to tell me that they've had a paranormal experience. You know? Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. See, I'm not saying it's all bullshit either. It's cool. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, totally.
Do whatever you want.
Like believe
in it. Like I can't go down that.
No, yeah, it's not for me personally. Mm-mm. When they say folie deux is rare, I think they are mistaken, because so many people believe in paranormal things, and I think that there is an element of shared belief that contributes to that, because everybody's descriptions of things tend to be very similar. You know, just stories that have been passed on. I mean, that's my theory on it. I'm not saying that any of this is rooted in fact. I've just like talked to a lot of people. I've read a lot of personal accounts, and I would love to hear more. If you're a paranormal investigator and you're listening to this, I know a couple of you guys follow us, hit us up, man. Like, I want to interview you. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your stories.
Right. I would love to hear your stories too. I'm sure they're creepy as fuck.
Yeah. We're not here to roast you. Jordan and I are respectful people. Yeah. It would be a good conversation for sure. For sure. Movie time. It's a movie time. Turn the lights down low. Get your blanket and your kettle corn. It's a movie. Movie time.
Kettle corn. It's so much fucking better. God, I love some kettle corn. Le day wrong.
It's fucking great, isn't it? Like I kill a bucket of that shit, the butter stuff, every time I go, right? With TJ or whoever I'm with. But fucking if it was a bucket of kettle corn, I would be like, you need to get your fucking hands to yourself, get your own bucket. This one is mine.
All me.
Kettle corn. And M&Ms. I don't know why we have never discussed this before, but I feel like now it's an appropriate time, because you guys know what it is. We talk about movies next. So what's your favorite movie snack?
Like at the movie theater?
Your ideal condition for movie night?
Fucking milk and cookies.
Yeah.
Some fresh baked chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And I like popcorn too. You got to have some popcorn.
For sure. Yeah, I really like having popcorn with the caramel M&Ms or the peanut butter M&Ms, or maybe both inside the popcorn.
Just dump that shit right on in.
Fucking mix it all up.
Shovel it in your mouth.
It's amazing. My ideal conditions for watching a movie, TJ and I, my partner, we used to go to movies under the stars, and it was cool because we could bring Lyra, our baby doggy, with us. And it was really fun because they had food trucks and all this kind of thing. It was really cool. They would always play a Stephen King adaptation. So we saw like Misery and Pet Sematary and The Shining, and it was outside on this big screen. It was really dope. So I think that
sounds nice.
If I could watch every movie like in that moment with the perfect weather, it's like autumn, but it's just right. You like to be at home on the couch with your milk and cookies?
Yes. Yes. With my big screen TV.
And your coochie Kobe blanket?
Yep, sometimes. When Axel doesn't steal that shit. He's all the time stealing that blanket.
It's a good blanket.
I mean, it's probably in his room right now.
It's probably just his now. That's what he did. He like took back his Christmas gift.
Well, here, you can have this, but I'm going to use it.
2024. Now we got to wait for it a little bit. Joker, Folie, deux is coming out. Lady Gaga is going to be playing Harley Quinn. And I really hope that she doesn't House of Gucci it up because
I fucking love Lady Gaga. Not necessarily her music. I mean, I don't hate it, but at the same time, like, it's not really my style. But God, the season American Horror Story that she was on, the hotel, it was so fucking good. God damn, it was so good.
She's good at playing a character.
Well, she fucking kills it.
Yeah, she does as a character.
Okay.
So I hope she's like gonna just be like hopefully she'll just do the Lady Gaga thing that she does, I guess, and not try to be anything else, because whenever she does that, it kind of sucks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I did not like her in House of Gucci.
I don't know that I watched that, so
well, it was rough.
But I have seen her in a few things, and I didn't hate any of them. Yeah. And that was by far my favorite season of American Horror Story. Fucking hotel was slamming. God, it was so good.
My favorite to watch over and over again is Coven, because of Angela Bassett and Kathy Bates.
I love them.
I love Jessica Lange.
She's in several of them. I really like Kathy Bates.
Yeah, Kathy Bates is dope. She's in a few seasons of The Office.
Oh, is she? Nice.
I'm going to miss Margot Robbie as Harley, but this is a different universe, so it's a different Harley. It's a sequel to the much-beloved Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. It's currently in production, and it's set for theatrical release 2 years from now.
Next year, 2024. You said a few years. It ain't a few years.
It just turned into 2023.
Okay. I give you that much.
So it's not exactly a horror film, and I know that's our thing, but I fucking love the Joker movie. I'm really looking forward to this one, especially if the cinematography is going to be anywhere close to the first one, because the cinematography in the first one was incredible. The 2019 Joker.
Probably not. I'm not into comic book movies.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, it's an objectively good movie.
And objectively, that's why I didn't watch it. Because I'm not into comic book movies.
Watch it, because it's not about the Batman and there's no superheroes. This one is just good as a movie. It's an origin story, and it's just a good movie. It's good. It's just a really good movie. Yeah. I don't want to say, it's just really awesome. But yeah, this is a direct sequel to that. Little is really known about it, but there's a couple promo images up. The director, Todd Phillips, is going to be doing things a little differently with this one. So I'm looking forward to it. Bug. Have you ever seen Bug?
Bug.
No. Oh my God. It's amazing. It is a masterpiece by playwright Tracy Letts. It's a great movie. A 2006 film. It is directed by William Friedkin. It stars Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon. In the movie, Peter starts having hallucinations where he is inundated with insects. They're just like fucking crawling all over his skin all the time. It's really gross. And he knows he's being watched because he is super duper sincere. His buddy also begins experiencing his hallucinations. Tracy Letts must know his shit because there is praise all over the place from psychiatrists for how well he wrote the character's delusions. This movie masterfully evokes paranoia, delusions, and claustrophobia. It's really awesome. It's got a great ending. And if you haven't seen it yet, like Jordan, do it. It's streaming on Hulu. Watch it now.
Okay, so after hearing the description, I actually do think I watched that movie.
Did you?
I don't ever remember what they're called. So I'm like, nah, I don't know. Probably not.
It's
But
so
I
good.
did.
Yeah,
I
did you?
did actually watch that movie. It was good.
She's like, I am the bug queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was intense, right? Tracy Letts, the playwright, also wrote the film, like the script and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool too, because it was really true to the source material, and it's a very disturbing piece of art. And I'm just glad that they didn't do that thing where they
Fuck it up.
fucked it up. Yeah, I'm a Stephen King fan. Like I'm used to that. I love a book. I'm like, oh, a movie's no.
You went the wrong way, guys.
Yeah, natural born killers. You know this one?
I do know the movie, yes. I don't know that I have seen it anywhere near recently.
Well, it is an oldie but goodie. It's one of my all-time favorites, and it's on my rotation. I probably watch it like once every like 3 years or so. I'll pop it on just to be like, I want to see what Mickey and Mallory Knox are up to. Those sons of bitches. This 1994 film follows news reporter played by Robert Downey Jr., a very young Robert Downey junior
Mhm.
pre-Iron Man.
Yeah, like in 1994, y'all.
Yeah. He's tailing serial killers Mickey and Mallory Knox on their honeymoon as they rob, kidnap, assault, and murder their way through the USA. Because whose honeymoon didn't end with 52 dead?
I mean, if it did, you didn't do it right.
Oliver Stone kicked ass making this. And although I wouldn't consider it horror necessarily, one of the oldest memories I have is of Mickey's headless father standing up off of a chair. It's like 2 frames. But if you'd asked 7-year-old me who peeked behind the sofa when I was supposed to be asleep, it was 10 minutes long and terrifying. Like I lost sleep over that scene. It took me years to find out what movie it was too. Because I was like, Mom, what was that movie you watched where that headless guy like got up and walked across the floor? And she was like, what?
Oh my God.
So Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis have this wild chemistry that is palpable. Like you almost believe these two exist somewhere and actually did these awful things. You can rent it on Prime. I think it's like $3. This one is a weird one. It is fun. That is the title of the film.
Sounds fun.
Yes. 1994 film by Raphael Zelinsky, and it's based on a play by James Bosley. Do you remember the 2 best friends that met at the bus stop and they fell insane with each other, and they decided that the best way to bond would be to murder a random older woman, steal her car, and then have a slumber party?
I do remember that.
Yeah. So that it's a tale of those idiots. I think we covered this one back in December on the naughty list.
We did. We sure did.
Now those girls sucked eggs. And there's this movie about them. Yeah, they totally suck eggs. You suck eggs and HE double hockey sticks. With great performances by Renee Humphrey and Alicia Witt. You can stream it on Prime. I think it's free. And if it's not, it's only $2. There you go, guys. That is our episode. We know it's a quickie. We just wanted to talk to you about Skinamarink because there's so much hype about it. And we really wanted to weigh in on it and share our experiences with, seeing it in the cinema with y'all, and get you primed up for part 2, where we're going to talk about people who fell into insanity with each other. They're so crazy.
Yeah, a little crazy. There's several really cool stories. Make sure you come back.
Yes. And in the meantime, you can like, follow, subscribe. We're all over the place at Creepy Tapas. And growing. We're going to have a YouTube out soon. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Definitely. We are proud members of the Darkcast Network. Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Eventually, you're going to have to give these people cookies.
Give us a 5-star review, and I might. You never know. I baked some mean cookies. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to keep up on things, you can hit us up on all social media.
All of them.
At
Creepy Tapas.
That's right. We're just Creepy Tapas.
All over the damn place.
Creepy Tapas is a free podcast, and we intend to keep it that way. But if you like what you hear and want to support us, please like, rate, and review. It helps us grow so we can keep serving our tiny tastes of terror to amazing listeners like you.
We would love to hear from you, so send us your personal stories to creepytapas@gmail.com. We are self-written and recorded with production by Freddy Cat Productions, music by Kevin MacLeod, and graphics by Panther Creek Graphics.
Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.